baseball championship game. Divine Child will be the home team here this evening. Falcons out in the field. And as we indicated in the interview at the top of the show with Jim Toe, sports writer for the Dearborn Press and Guide, this is Divine Child's first appearance in the city tournament in a number of years. And John, the reason for that is simply a matter of scheduling. The Falcons could not schedule, could not keep an open date.
Well, it's troublesome for the Divine Child Falcons because they normally schedule their games several years in advance, John, as we know, as most athletic directors try to do. And it just so happened that the last few years that they've just had a conflicting schedule. They've been playing interleague games and such. They just haven't had the opportunities to come out and have a chance to play. As we see this year, they're in the finals, and they are heavily favored in the finals at that. And it's going to be a tough contest, as earlier today, Etzel Ford came from behind in the 9th inning, or in the 7th inning, pardon me, and beat Fortson 2-1. And Divine Child ought to have their work cut out, as we see Todd Bone coming up to bat right now. He's one of the strongest hitters on this Etzel Ford team, and if he gets going, this entire team follows right along with him.
Todd Bone, the designated hitter, to try to get it going for the T-Birds here in the top of the 1st inning. DKuby16 on the mound. Etzel Ford here by virtue of that 2-1 victory over Fortson, what most people would consider an upset. 3 hits in the 7th inning by Brian Coulter, Dan Enos, and Dave Wilkie, accounting for the victory.
First pitch was high for a ball, John.
1 ball on Todd Bone. Kuby16 throws, and that one's low. 2 balls and no strikes. We've got a crisp, cool evening here. Cloudy, overcast, threat of rain. Two balls and no strikes now. Kuby16 wheels and deals. And there's a strike on the outside corner.
Kuby16 is the ace of this Divine Child squad, and he sort of like sets the tone. He takes his time on the mound, and he works the batter in his own direction.
Fastball outside, misses. 3 balls and 1 strike now on Todd.
It may take a while for all the arms out there to get loosened up a bit, John, because it is kind of nippy, and it could be tough. We may see a few throwing errors early in the night.
This ground ball past the mound to second base. Picked up there by Kajita to throw to first. It's low in the dirt, but a nice pickup by Pat Mayette. And Brian Rooney goes out second to first. Brian Coulter steps up.
Brian Coulter.
Brian stationed out in center field today for head coach Norm Schultz's Thunderbirds. Dan Enos, the pitcher, waiting on deck. There's a strike on the outside corner. 1 strike on Brian. Kuby16, the big right-hander, wheels and fires outside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Brian Coulter. Outfield straight up. Swung on and missed. Brian couldn't find that one as Kuby16 poured the heat through. One ball and 2 strikes on Brian. Swung on and fouled at the plate. Brian just got a piece of that one. And John, as we look at the Divine bench, Dave Kuby16 is really throwing hard out there.
Oh, by far he's the fastest pitcher in the city. He can throw the ball as an 11th grader as hard as most.
Swung on and missed. The ball goes past the catcher, hustling after Bob Tatro, and he fires to first, and they get Brian Coulter. That'll be a strikeout. First the ball game for Dave Kuby16. It slipped past catcher Bob Tatro, but he hustled after it. And we've got 2 outs with nobody on. Here's Dan Enos.
As I was pointing out, Kuby16 throws the ball about as hard as anybody in the high school leagues right now. And we had an opportunity to see it. The ball skipped right through the catcher's mitt.
There's a strike at the knees. Dave Kuby16 just rearing back and throwing bullets here in the early going.
He sneaks a big sweeping curve in there now. A lot of people will be caught off balance.
There's a curveball breaking low in the dirt. Enos held off. 1 ball, 1 strike on Dan. If you're wondering what that is on your screen, that's part of the backstop here, which we're shooting through with our camera behind the screen. So don't try and adjust your television set. It might prove fruitless, John.
It's an interesting shot we have here at Henry Ford Community College. We try to be innovative as well as bring you all the sports.
There's a ball low. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Dan Enos. Waiting on deck, Mike Gildersleeve. Dan's going to be on the mound in this ball game. And there's a strike on the outside corner. DKuby16 nipping off the outside corner with a fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Dan Enos. Kuby16 delivers. Change up, and he caught the corner, and Dan Enos takes a look at the 3rd strike. So it's a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the 1st for Edsel Ford.